Starting off, we're here with the cast off 762. These are all the attachments that I use personally. You can change it up a little bit to whatever you feel more comfortable with. These are all the tunings. I'll go through them quickly for you to see. More towards flinch and all the way across the far. Barrel, I go more towards recoil, steadiness, and obviously damage range. For the muzzle, we got it towards recoil, stabilization, and also gun kick control. F-tack ripper, mostly towards the aim and idle stability, and just over towards the recoil stabilization, and also nothing for the mag. All these attachments, pretty much minimal recoil, as I'll show you in the firing range. As you can see, the recoil is hardly anything. You don't really need to move that much, whether it's on controller or mouse and keyboard, to try and control the recoil spray pattern. Technically, this weapon doesn't need an introduction. It's one of the meta weapons in the game as of now before Season 2. It's pretty much probably one of the similar builds that you'll see anyone else running. But I'll just go through the tuning quickly, just in case you see anything different than what you use. Obviously the aim OP again, mostly down towards aim down sight speed, and obviously all the way across the far. ZLR Talon, just up towards recoil smoothness just a tad, and mostly all the way across to bullet velocity. F-tack ripper, yet again up towards recoil stabilization and all the way across to aiming idle stability. Also the high velocity ammunition rounds, up towards damage range, and also bullet velocity, and Demo X2 grip towards recoil steadiness, and next to nothing towards sprint fire speed. As you guys probably already know what the RPK is like with recoil / damage, as it is one of the meta weapons in the game, which everyone seems to be using. To show you the recoil real quick, if you haven't seen it, pretty much does not move. So it's not really hard to control on mouse or on controller, as it is one of the meta weapons in the game. Thirdly, we have the Lockman 556. This weapon actually reminds me of the Grow from the previous Warzone, with the recoil smoothness, but I'd probably say the Grow had more damage per mag compared to what the Lockman 556 does, but it's still a pretty good weapon to use. Minimal recoil. This is the tuning again for the aim, OPV4, mostly down towards aim down sight speed, all the way across the far. The barrel all the way up towards recoil steadiness, and just a tad open towards damage range. Using the Harbinger muzzle, up towards recoil smoothness and towards bullet velocity. F-tack ripper all the way up to recoil stabilization and towards aiming idle stability. As you can probably see, I'm not using any like high velocity rounds or anything, where I'm using the 60 rounds instead, which is perfect for duos, trios, quads, because it doesn't do as much damage as like the RPK or cast off 762. This is the recoil for the Lockman 556. As you can see, yet again, minimal recoil, but definitely run the 60 round mag on quads just to get that extra damage per spray. So next up, we got the TAC V. These are attachments that I prefer to run. You could probably run an optic. It's all personal preference, really. The hindsight's really good on this weapon to use. But like I said, if you really want to use an optic, you can. These are the attachments that I'm running with the tuning, up towards recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. The muzzle towards recoil stabilization and also gun kick control. The underbarrel I got up towards recoil control and also just a tad over to aim down sight speed. And the high velocity rounds I got up towards damage range and also recoil steadiness. And a 50 round mag, like I said, with the Lockman 5.6, it's not as powerful as the RPK, but it still puts out quite a bit of damage. But 50 round mag is perfect for trios or duos, trios, and even quads. This weapon's a little bit harder to control compared to, like, as you've seen with the Lockman, the RPK, cast off. It's a bit bouncy, as you can see, and like I said with the iron sights, it's nothing really blocking your view like other weapons in the game, such as like the Fennec. The iron sights aren't really that good because it's just like a big square around your iron sights. But as you can see the enemies perfect with these irons. And then with the TAC family, where you got the TAC 56, same again with the optic. The iron sights are pretty much exactly the same as the TAC V. So I tend to choose not to choose an optic for this weapon. These are all the attachments that I run on it. Tune in towards recoil steadiness and a tad over to aim down sight speed. For the muzzle towards recoil stabilization and also gun kick control. F-tac Ripper for all the way up to recoil stabilization and also aim and idle stability. High velocity rounds, more towards recoil smoothness just a tad, and also towards recoil steadiness. And yet again, we're running the 60 round mag for trios and duos, just to get that extra bit of damage per round, or per mag, sorry, instead of having to reload with the 40 round mag. 40 round mag, I'd say, probably good for obviously solos and duos, but I definitely recommend using the 60 round mag for duos onward. So as you can see, the iron sights are pretty much exactly the same as attack V. Recoil pretty much the same, just at long range obviously you have to spray a bit more just to put that extra damage in, but medium, close, and then next long. Recoil obviously next to nothing, as you can see. It is quite easy to control as well compared to I'd say the attack V is slightly different to control. So whether you're on mouse or keyboard, just how you prefer to control your weapon, obviously, whether you practice. Lastly, we're using the HCR 56, same optic as pretty much all the weapons, as this is the best optic to use. Tune in for this optic on this weapon is down towards aim down sight speed and all the way across the fire again. For the muzzle, just over towards aim down sight speed and over towards velocity. The F-tac Ripper down towards aim down sight speed and also aim and idle stability, and we're running the high velocity with just a tad over the recoil smoothness and all the way across the bullet velocity, and the stick 40 grip just down towards aim down sight speed and also aim and idle stability. Don't really need to change the magazine on this to 100 round. That's just overkill, I'd say. 60 round mag, as you can see, standard is more than enough for yet again duos, trios, quads. Pretty much the same sort of damage as what the attack V puts out. You have to spray more bullets to get that extra bit of damage hitting in. And as you can see, the recoil is pretty much easy to control. It's minimal movement, whether, like I said, whether you're on console with the analogs or whether you're on mouse. Obviously, it's probably a lot easier to control on mouse because you got the whole movement of your arm, your wrist, compared to what you got on controller with thumbs. But overall, it's definitely a good weapon to try and use out. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and also comment if you found any of these loadouts helpful, and let me know how you get along with them. See you in the next